Welcome to Something to Talk About.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to another update of our Song of Ice and Fire bracket. This is our update 3. This is covering the first round of the Modern Legends bracket. Then we're moving on to a different one. If you don't know what's going on here, I'm doing this huge tournament on my YouTube channel in the community tab. Go participate. Huge tournament. We're voting. So, yeah, we made it through Rebels, Legends, and now Modern Legends. And this one was interesting. All right, putting this out on Wednesday morning. I think we just started the Monsters bracket yesterday, and right when this is coming out, the second match of the Monsters brackets coming out. I just got off of graveyard shifts this morning. I got off work at 8 a.m. and then I slept during the day, and then I woke up. I did husband and dad stuff, and I just put my kid to sleep while he's watching TV. I get to come down here and film, and then I'm going to go back to sleep. So I'm trying really hard to keep these updates going. Also, it was a really physical day at work, so my back's really messed up. So if you start seeing me do this, my back really hurts. But yeah, this is what's going on. So let's talk, no more talk about me. Let's talk about the Modern Legends. Let's do a quick little recap. So this was the result of the first rounds of the Rebels bracket, and then our Legends bracket, which was completely nuts. And then, of course, the Modern Legends bracket is what we're about to get to. And this was also a little nuts. I think I had a couple that I wish I had another couple weeks to really focus on matchups, because I feel like I could have performed better for you guys. I feel like I could have made this bracket a little better, and I had a little bit of regrets. And I had some really awesome commenters make me feel like it's all in my head. So yeah. So let's get to the main one I'm talking about, which was the first match, which was the two-handed Jaime Lannister versus Barristan Selmy. So yeah, Barristan beat Jaime 69-31. 69 dudes. And my first thought was, I like having a really, hey, let's get a really awesome, huge fight right away in round one to make things special. But I think next year I won't do that anymore. I did that a couple times last year too. And it really does. Like, now you get the whole bracket without Jaime, and that's kind of lame and kind of boring. And there's another fight in here I feel like I shouldn't have put together, and I'll get to that when I get to it. So damage is already done. We're ready into this tournament. We're going to keep going. And Barristan Selmy won. But I just want you guys to know, I do think for next year, I won't be doing any of these like dream matchups for round one. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into the comments. Anyways, so these are top comments. I had Big Buddy One say, I think Barristan wins like the majority but we got to stop with the Jaime downplay. Jaime has been disrespected his whole life, but one thing everyone in the Song of Ice and Fire universe can give him is that his skill of arms, right? He stands shoulder to shoulder with all the greats in this fight with while Barristan wins, it would be epic. Yeah, I do feel like though Barristan won, I don't think anyone would consider this an easy fight, or that Jaime would suck, like it's a wash. I'm surprised that it's 69-31, because we had on last bracket, we had a lot of 50-50s, and I finally called it at 53-47. And I thought this was going to go that way too. I was wrong. It did not. So yeah. Grant Campbell said Big Bad Barry, the guy's that literally Age of Heroes level fame. Yeah. And then Kevin Nutzling said Barristan has some of the greatest feats we've ever seen from a single character, including slaying Melee's monsters, slaying the leader of the Kingswood Brotherhood, Simon Toyne, and pulling off a stealth rescue mission at the that ending with him avenging his fellow Kingsguard by slaying Simon Hullard. Yeah, he killed Simon Hullard, who killed Gawain Gaunt, is that who it was? Even as an old man, his skills were respected by Jaime and was able to defeat a skilled Dothraki pit fighter. That's Kraz. I got a video for Kraz. Kraz is great. Although he needed the advantage with plate mail. Yeah, it did help him. But yeah, there was a lot of contention, and I feel like I want to say it was the Kevin Utzling got a bunch of comments under it, and some I wouldn't say heated, but some debate over a lot of their feats. But yeah, I think that this one would go this way. I am surprised it was 69-31, and like I said, next year I probably won't be doing any of these giant matchups for round one. But all right, moving on. We got one that I was surprised. The Blackfish versus the Red Viper. I thought Brendan Blackfish would do a lot better here. So 83-17. For people who are new here, the fandom, especially the people who vote, love Oberyn Martell. Oberyn Martell has a very good chance of making his way out of this bracket completely. I think his biggest, I think who he's meeting on the other side will be Victarion Greyjoy, but I don't know. We'll see. But I think Oberyn has a really good chance of winning this bracket because people love Oberyn. I don't agree with it. I think Oberyn's a little overhyped, but a little overhyped. Calm down. But people love Oberyn. All right, Irish Potato Thief said, gotta be one impressive fish to take down this deadly serpent. Oberyn in 6. Yeah, fish versus a serpent. You gotta be pretty impressive. And then then the lazy boy said, more like blackened fish when the viper devours poor Brendan. a lot of imagery here, a lot of the fish and snake stuff. And then Rebel Lord Terran said, okay, it would be a damn good fight, but I had to give it to the Red Viper because, I mean, come on. The Blackfish is severely kick-ass, but when you got to take into account his age, and he is certainly stronger, but the Red Viper is faster than him, I'm sure. Yeah, I think that this is fair. I do think that that Oberyn gets a lot more votes than I would give him, but yeah, I think this is fair. I kind of really just like I like the juxtaposition of their fighting style of kind of that old legendary, like traditional Westerosi knight, like the Blackfish, versus somebody like Oberyn, who's not traditional in any way, right? So I liked it, and yeah. And what was the percentages again? 83-17. All right, moving on to another one that I kind of regret doing right away. I believe these guys met super late in last tournament. If I could believe, I think they met in the playoffs, maybe. I might not. I might have that wrong, but I know they both made it into the playoffs. If they met in that one, I apologize for giving you the same matchup. I think I might be wrong, but anyways, yeah, I feel like I should have not had these guys right next to each other, but lessons you learn. Got a whole other tournament next year, right? So Mance Raider versus Corn Halfhand. Sorry guys, can you tell I'm tired? I'm middle of my crazy work month. All right, so Corn Halfhand did win 58-42. This one was a lot closer, and it deserved to be close. In fact, I can't believe Corrin won, because as much as I love the half hand, Mance did really good last tournament, and he was kind of really talked about where people are like I started thinking like, is Mance gonna like win like the whole thing? And yeah, so him out round one, again, a little regret, but also like, good job, Corrin. So yeah, so Rochelle, let's go with the Rochelle. Obey said they both have quite the reputation, but in the end, Mance has more of a reputation. So if you guys don't know how I pick these top comments, because I get amazing comments. By the way, thank you for everyone who's voting, and thank you for everyone who's commenting. And I try to give everybody some love. The way I pick them is I try to grab the highest comment if it's not too long, or the most liked comment if it's not too long. a lot of time it's Kevin Nutzling, so that's why he's here so much. And I do feel like a jerk if I was like, geez, Kevin, you're getting a lot of love, so I'm going to punish you by not putting you up. So that's why a lot of the people that you see a lot of the same names in here, like Kevin Nutzling, Lazy Boy, Taryn, Irish Potato Thief. I'm probably forgetting a couple of the regulars, but it's because they make really good comments that get a lot of likes, and that's how they show up. Or I specifically laughed hard, and I'm like, that's good. I want to put that up because it helps break down this fight really well. And then I try to give love to smaller comments, and especially commenters who I haven't seen before, to kind of showcase like these guys who are finally commenting for the first time. And maybe they watch this and they're like, oh, cool. I'll keep commenting because mine popped up, right? So I just wanted to get all that out because I do feel like I have a lot of these and a lot of these same ones. And yeah, I really liked Rochelle Bays. So yeah. And then Hawk McBride is another constant. I put up his comments a lot because they're really good. To quote Jon Snow, this is Hawk McBride, the half-hand could have killed me as easy as you swat a bug. Corrin was a master swordsman, a ranger of the Night's Watch, a second in command at the Shadow Tower, but no fear of death. I had no fear of death, and traveled further into the wild beyond the wall than any other living man. He caught a wildling axe, from crashing into his skull with his bare hand. But after he lost half of his hand, he became even more of a deadly fighter than before. Yeah, that's dedication. The wildlings feared him more than any other man in the Night's Watch. So sum it up, you vote for Corrin. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to fight against those accolades. Irish Potato Thief said, so if the half hand is Arthur Dayne and Mance is Rhaegar, that means that y'all don't think Arthur Dayne is the best, right? I had another comment that's like, hey, I thought you said you weren't going to have Arthur Dayne in here. Because I'm leaving Arthur Dayne out of this one, as you guys know. And it's like, yeah, I had him twice in the same fight. All right, all jokes aside, got to be the half hand. This man is constantly in hostile territory, coming out of it alive. He's got the sharpest instincts on the wall and understands what it means to fight someone to the death, not just for show. Yeah, he's not just a fancy fighter. He's not a fancy fighter, right? Mance is a legit dude and a fair choice, but I'll take the man whose entire survival depend on being as good, if not better, with his left than he was with his right. Yeah. I don't know if he switched or if he just went with a 2-finger grip. You can't rock a 2-finger grip, right? You would have to switch. You can't control a sword with 2 fingers. But yeah, everyone made really good points. There's, of course, a lot of comments about how Mance Rayder fought all the different chiefs of the wildling groups, and that's how he was able to unite them. And that is such a huge feat. And it was. And yeah, I think Mance lost, but he didn't lose to, Lord of Bones, right? Like, he didn't lose to freaking Clayton Suggs or Flemmet Brax. It was Corrin Halfhand. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Hey, we got our first more than 90%. That means I'm going to play something, so be warned. Bronze Jan beat Roderick Cassell 91-9. And every time we get more than a 90%, I'm going to now play this.
You got knocked the fuck out!
Because he got knocked the fuck out. So, yeah. Now, I was aware that these guys sparred. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and it got brought up a lot in the comments. And I had one person tell me, you even read the books. We know the result. Yeah, I know they fought in the books. Yes, I read the books. Watch my show. Watch my channel. I know too damn much. But it was a sparring session between him it was Bronze Jan and Ned and Roderick, and Bronze won. It's a sparring session, though. And I always kind of got of that is the fact that Ned and Roderick are not tourney knights. They're Northmen, and they don't really fight like sparring fight. They kill. And in my opinion, I was like, yeah, but we're taking the reins off of Roderick. Is that going to help him at all? No, it didn't. And yeah, so I knew that these guys sparred, but I guess I didn't put as much credence to that as other people did. And I'm neither right or wrong, and neither are you. If that's what you think, that's what you think. You know, no one's ever wrong in these. It's just opinions. But yeah, so Bronzion did absolutely spank Royce, though. Or I mean Roderick, though. So Ronnie James Dio. Wait, Ronnie James Dio? I thought you died. Wow. It's an honor. It's an honor. It really is. You should give your cape and scepter to me and a smaller one for a KG. All right. He just said, Roderick? Hell yeah. Good comment. I forgot my name. Another person I play a lot. Said, the bronze boy wins no contest. He's already bested Cassell before. And as it stands, he's probably the second best fighter in the Vale. I'm assuming Lynn Corbray is the person you would consider the best. Or Vardasegan. Whereas Roderick isn't even the second best fighter at Winterfell, let alone the whole North. All right, you got a point there. And then Sadman Bo, great name, said, I love the lamb chops, but Bronzy wins here. Will he even break a sweat? Yeah, probably not. So yeah, Bronzion moves on. Bronzion moving on. And if we're looking here, that means Bronze is going to go up against Corn Halfhand, and that's amazing. And then Oberyn Martell versus Barristan Selmy. Whew! round 2 is going to be so good. Every time I'm looking at my old brackets, I'm like, oh man, round 2 is going to kick butt. All right, that's where I am, right? Am I missing one here? No, that's where I am. Yeah, let's look really quick here. Yeah, why do I got Andric the Unsmiling? All right. I don't know why I have these in the wrong order. But yeah, Areo Hotah, Jason Mallister's next. So let's get to that. There you go. Why did these upload on the wrong order? Okay, anyways, Areo Hotah versus Jason Mallister. So Roman Yakiv, sorry, said, you don't really know how good Hotah is. Or we don't really know how good Hotah is. He only executed Ares when he was already wounded and on his knees. Mallister is a renowned fighter who defeated the Ironborn in the Riverlands and slew 3 of Rhaegar's bannermen in the Trident. So, yeah, we do know that Jason Mallister kicked a lot of butt. Max, good old MB, said, again, voters show that they don't actually read the books. Me and Max butt heads a lot. I appreciate him a lot. I really do. I want Max to know that. I hope he knows that. I don't care if they read them. I don't. If you're a show watcher or if you're just a YouTube watcher, I know there is a large part of the Song of Ice and Fire YouTube community that loves hearing nerds talk about it. And that's it. They've never read them. They just watch lore guys like me and awesome theory guys like Michael talks about stuff, right? Like, and go check out Michael talks about stuff. But that's fine. That's what I was for a long time. I discovered Alt Shift X and In Deep Geek before I read the books. I did in Preston Jacobs before I read the books. And then I read the books and then I got obsessed. And I went through multiple times. And here I am. But that's fine. If they didn't read the books, thanks for your vote. It's what I mean, when we have an election year, you think that you have to have paid attention for politics for 4 years in order to vote? Most people don't. I do. I'm way too into that crap. But dude, you just have the right to vote. You don't need to be qualified to vote. No voter suppression, Max. But I actually do. You were just immediately, I'm assuming you're saying that because you would assume Jason would just absolutely stomp Areo Hotah. But yeah. Hawk McBride again said, my money's on Areo. But I think Jason's getting a little underrepresented here. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't say the percentage. It was 84 to 16. Yeah, I think it's a little too one-sided. I was actually kind of surprised because Areo Hotah as far as I realized, isn't as highly respected in my brackets the last couple times. I feel like Areo, doesn't do super well. So I thought Jason was going to do a lot better. But you guys don't read the books. I'm sorry, Max. I'm just messing with it. But yeah, I was a little surprised of how good Areo did. So yeah, all right. Let's go back to go forward, and that is Andric the Unsmiling versus Victarion Greyjoy. Here we are. Do said Andric doesn't have a good resume of acts, and that is the reason alone my money is going to Vicky. His reputation is good, no doubt, but until I read some text about him actually doing a single thing more impressive, Victarion, it'll have to stay. So sorry, Victarion Greyjoy, who I have doing really well in this bracket. I bet he's going to make it very far, 80%. And then Andric the Unsmiling only got 20. So let's talk about feats. Let's talk about you feats fetishists. And it's cool. I like the idea of feats because you guys are like, we know he or they accomplished this, and that means that they can accomplish, we know what they can do. But just because they don't have feats doesn't mean they don't have potential, right? Mike Tyson was an amazing boxer before his first match. He just was. He came out, he didn't lose forever. That's potential. If you're going to be like, but Mike Tyson looks really good, and he's been training with a legendary trainer, and he's been working really hard, and man, he sure has. And it sure looks like a good boxer, but he doesn't have any feats. Well, it's his first match. Give him a little bit. And I kind of got that from Andric the Unsmiling too. And also, he's a man of dust and drums. It's not like somebody who we see a lot of, right? But yeah, so that's kind of what I have about Andric and his feats. Is you're right. He doesn't have a lot, but I think that doesn't take away potential of characters who we haven't seen have a chance to be in a lot of fights, or they're kind of further away from the POV, the camera of the POV character, if you will. That doesn't mean they're not good, though. And that's my only issue with feats, is because potential is still there. Like just because you haven't seen Frank fight and we haven't heard about Frank doesn't mean that he isn't the best fighter. He can be. But of course, if we haven't seen him, if we don't see the feats, how are we supposed to know? And that's what you're going to say back. And that's extremely valid. So, Mikey M said, Victarion, if we're going by feats, here it is again. Andric, if we're going by statements. And then Nemenin. All right, Nemenin. I figured it out. Andric wouldn't have nearly lost to Sari. Just saying. Okay, them are strong words. I don't think Victarion Greyjoy barely beat Sari. Sari cut his hand because Victarion did that. He could have probably moved, probably could have put his helmet into it. But he's acting like a badass, and he catches it. And also, how do we not know that Talbot Sari isn't a fucking badass? Like, I bet if I put Talbot Sari on here, he would do pretty good. I should. Maybe next tournament I'm putting in Talbot Sari. I'm saying it now. But it is Talbot, right? How do you know Talbot Sari's not great? People always give Talbot Sari crap. Like, yeah, Vic almost lost to some random dude. How do we know he's some random dude? Talbot Sari might be awesome. And I do think it was a stupid strategy, which of course strategy is part of sword play, but I don't think it's nearly lost. All right, that's it. I mean, if you disagree, that's fine. Nemenin, keep commenting. Great. So I put it up because I wanted to talk about it. All right, we only got 2 fights left, right? So Garlan the Gallant. Do we only have 2 left? Let me pause and look. No, we're good. We're good. All right. I'm tired, man. I shouldn't have filmed this. Like, I wanted to get it done because I wanted to help. Yeah, I wanted to get this out for you guys, but like, I am in not the best shape for filming. I'm tired. All right. Garlan the Garlan Tyrell versus Gerald Darkstar Dane. This was fun. I was really excited for this one. And I knew Garlan would win, but I was excited for the comments. And yeah, they did not disappoint. Garlan beat him 76-24. Beat Darkstar. I just love the hatred towards Darkstar and everyone making fun of him. And that just that makes me happy. All right, Divine Augustus said, here, let me open this so I can read this. Garlan is a rarity in this world in that he is a legitimately decent person and a gifted warrior. He put on Renly's armor and led the vanguard in the Battle of the Blackwater, killing Gyard Morgan of Renly's Kingsguard in single combat. He trains against multiple swordsmen at a time. Lore himself said that Garlan is a better swordsman than he is. Their sister tried to choose him out of everyone in the Reach as her champion for the Trial of Combat. He is one of the few to be kind to Sansa on her miserable wedding day. Perfectly willing for everyone to credit his exploits in the battle, the battle to the ghost of someone else. Yeah. He's perfectly willing for everyone to credit his exploits to a ghost. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, and then Renly's ghost did this. He was okay with, yeah, he's a wrestler who's okay with wearing a mask, right? He is what a knight is supposed to be. He would have fit in with the great Kingsguards of the past. Divine Augustus, you said so many true things. You kind of forget that Garlan Tyrell is kind of awesome. So yeah, Kevin Utzling said, until he claims Don, I'm not giving the Emo Edric Dane substitution any credit. Garlan frequently trains against multiple opponents. He slayed a member of Renly's former Kingsguard in the Battle of the Blackwater, which we already said. And the only reason he's less known than Lore says he doesn't care about the glory or showing off in tournaments. There's a reason Marjorie wanted him for a champion. So if you're wondering why I put up two comments that are exactly the same, it's because of the until he claims Don part. So in the comments, that started a lot. So one person's like, what's Don got to do with anything? And then it was like, that's the sword that makes the bed. And everyone freaked out. So I kind of put that up there. Oh my God. It's like, wow. George said about Don. It's like, okay, here we go, guys. So that's why I had two very similar comments, because I wanted to bring up like, no, I saw that exchange. It just exploded out of that comment. All right. And then Erlich's Soul Thief. Oh, don't steal mine. You stole my heart, though. He said Darkstar would use pocket sand to win this. A little behind the scenes. I'm a giant King of the Hill fan. And now I'm just thinking of Darkstar like pocket sand, and it's killing me. And honestly, I don't get the joke because he lives in a desert. Where's the connection between Dale Gribble? Because they're edgelords? Is Dale Gribble an edgelord? He's a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I just don't know where this comment came from. It made me really happy. Also, this is the newest comment of all of them. It literally was posted while I was putting this together, and I already was done with the slide. Like, I was almost completely done. And then I was like, oh, I better put that one in. So I did. And then finally, the pun-isher. We've actually seen our kind boy Garlan do impressive things, and we've never seen Darkstar, or all we've ever seen Darkstar do is scar a defenseless child. Allegedly. Anyways, there's that theory that, because we don't actually see it happen, that it wasn't him. I love conspiracy theories. So I'm like Dale Gribble, but only a Song of Ice and Fire conspiracy theories. What was I saying? Yeah, that's kind of going back to the feats thing again, and the fact that everyone is kind of afraid of him, and he has a huge reputation, like he's the most dangerous man in Dorne. But again, reputation only goes so far without actually proving it, backing it up. And Garland's definitely backed it up. Garland has a lot more experience. So yeah, final one, Tytos Blackwood versus Randall Tarley. I just really like Tytos Blackwood, and I wanted to put him in a fight, and I thought Randall Tarley would be perfect. They are both, in my opinion, at least, modern legends. So I did not think it would be this one-sided. And so much of it went as, well, we've never really seen them fight, but one has a Valyrian steel sword. Boom. How much does Dawn mean? Well, if Artsbane can flip this much. Oh, that's not the right page there. So Diego P said, I think it's pretty clear that these guys, I'm assuming is what he meant, ain't known for the girth of their arms, like how big, but for their heads. Okay, yeah. Both nice battle commanders, with Randall being more renowned. However, Tytos had that cool battle in the camps moment. Yeah, absolutely. I want to say I might get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he had an army inside River Run, and then when Battle of the Camps happened, he dropped the drawbridge and then attacked the Battle of the Camps from inside River Run, like he brought a charge out of the castle. That's so cool. I think that's actually why I like him so much. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. I think I'll go with the crazy maniac whose entire purpose in life is breeding the ultimate fighter. Samuel, how come you're not a good fighter? I named you Sam after Savage Sam. I'm doing everything I can here to breed the greatest fighter. So funny. All right, Kevin Newtsling in a clash where neither are particularly legendary single combatants. I'm going with the guy who has a Valyrian steel sword. I had that comment just because I like the juxtaposition of the next comment. When left in doubt, pick the one who's worse at parenting. So both of them had the same fork in the road. Well, we don't really know too much about these guys. Who do we pick? I'm picking Randall. I'm picking Randall too. Why? He has a Valyrian steel sword. Oh, he's a horrible parent. And they both got on the same path. That's funny. Thank you, Irish Potato Thief. All right. There you guys go. Put this out in the morning. Let's get into the results. Barristan Selmy, Oberyn Martell is going to be amazing. Corrin Halfhand, Bronzeon's going to be really good. I think Victarion Greyjoy is going to carve Areo Hotah up like a freaking Virginia ham. but yeah. And then Garlan Tyrell, Randall Tarley. Now that's a fight. That's going to be a good one. All right. And as of right now, I want to say Shagwell's beating the Weeper. Let's check. So this is 10 p.m. I did put that out earlier today. So let's check what the results are so far. No, never mind. I'm way off. The Weeper is beating Shagwell the Fool 80-20 as of right now with 15 hours into it. So yeah, that's probably going to go to the Weeper. Smiling Knight over Gregor Clegane, Clayton Suggs, Ramsay Bolton. Amory Lorch Biter. You see, this bracket is so much they're monsters. They're not all great fighters. Like the last two brackets are like they're on the brackets because they're legendary fighters, right? That's gone now. Legends and Modern Legends, those are strong brackets for a reason. This is, you have to be savage to get on, and not every savage is a good fighter. Clayton Suggs, Ramsay Bolton, that's going to be a good low-tier standoff. And whoever wins that's not going to make it far, but at least I got to win. Emery Lorch Biter, I think that's going to go to the Biter. Rorge may go to the Cruel. Poor Rorge. And then Elfin Crow Killer versus Kago Corpse Killer. No, I didn't just put them there because their names are similar. All right. And Zolo versus Godry Faring the Giant Slayer. And then a Rattleshirt versus Rafter Sweetling. I think this bracket's amazing. I already had a comment that said, so this is just going to be Mountain versus Magor. Yeah. Smiling Knight might be the Mountain. Okay. He does have a chance over there. And that's it. Maybe Biter. Biter's terrifying. He's giant and he runs at you and tackles you and eats you. It's kind of hard to fight that. He's essentially a bear. So, all right. There you guys go. Thank you for watching. Good morning. And yeah, keep voting, and I'll keep doing these updates as much as I can. As you can see, I'm really busy, but I felt like if I could squeeze it in, I will. You guys have a good one. Peace.